In this video, we look at how to use GitHub Issues as a way of communicating with your team on a software development project. All GitHub repos have an Issues tab associated with them, where on the tab, team members, and sometimes even the public, can post issues on things like bug requests, feature requests, or it can be used for internal team communication. Software development teams often use other tools. Popular ones are Slack. Slack is a little bit like group text messaging, but everything is archived and broken down and organized, and there is a website that shows the transcripts of the communication. So Slack is a tool that many people use that works fine on phones and has a web presence. Microsoft has an equivalent of Slack called Microsoft Teams. And again, it allows kind of group communication. It's archived so you can see the history of the communication, and you can do it on your phone or on the web. Most professional software development teams will use one of these tools. But in this video, we're going to focus on how you can use GitHub Issues to do similar kinds of communication right in GitHub. Here we see an example of a mature GitHub Issues board. On the board, you see issues. Each one of these is an issue that was created with the New Issue button. Note that the issue can also have comments. There's 4 comments on this issue, 6 comments on this issue. Notice that issues have titles, and if you clicked on the issue, you would actually see the description of the issue. Also note that issues have labels. This team is working on a project that involves the CSS language and the JavaScript language. So this issue is about CSS, and this one's about JavaScript. Also, it looks like this team has a protocol where if an issue is confirmed that it needs to be worked on and possibly moved to the GitHub projects board as a project for someone to work on, they put the label confirmed. So these are called labels, and there are built-in labels, and you can create your own labels in GitHub Issues. We're going to demonstrate the use of GitHub Issues for a brainstorming phase of a new company trying to come up with a product idea. So see that we're in a repo here called WeWalk. Now that's the name of the eventual brainstorming is going to come up with this company. But let's just assume maybe it was called New Company or something like that, where the team has decided they're going to think about ideas for a product. So they could use the Issues tab. So we're in the repo, and here is where the Issues portion of the repo is kept. If I click on Issues, we see because it's a brand new repo, there are no issues. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a label so that we can do some brainstorming. So here, from the Issues page on the GitHub repo, I go up here where we see that there are labels. If I click on labels, GitHub has some predefined labels. Things like a bug request. So if something's wrong in the existing software, the issue can be posted here so people can fix it. Enhancement is a typical label for something to be added to the product to make it better. Questions about the product can also be posted with issues. And so there are some built-in labels that most GitHub repositories use. We're going to create a new label for our brainstorming process. So I'm going to click on New Label, and I'm going to name the label Brainstorming. Now if you're in a team repo, maybe someone's already done this, and you would see the brainstorming label already in the list. In this case, you wouldn't have to create it. But since it wasn't here, I'm going to go ahead and create the label. And now I have a label called Brainstorming. I could have put a comment in here. I can edit it, and I'll put the comment in. Used for new product ideas. Okay, now I have the brainstorming label with the comment. Going back to my issues, I'm now ready to start brainstorming. So I'm going to create a new issue for brainstorming. Now remember, this is just an example about brainstorming, but once the product was launched, if there are bugs, people could create new issues for bugs. If the team thought of an enhancement they wanted to make, create a new issue for enhancement. But right now we're demonstrating brainstorming. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new issue. And I'm going to put in here that my product idea pet morphing. We should have a product where users can upload 2 pictures of their pets, and the software will morph them into one picture with the face of one pet and the body of another. Not that I would really do this, but it's the idea of brainstorming. No bad ideas, just lay them all out there and the team will decide which ones are good. Alright, so I put this together. Now I also want to add a label to it because I don't want this to be mixed up with things like bug requests and feature requests once the software is going. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to add the label brainstorming. Once I've added the label brainstorming, I've given it a title, I've given it a description, I can submit this as a new issue. And once it's submitted as a new issue, it's listed here under the Issues tab, and you can see there's one issue now for this repo. And as other teammates come in, we'll see that their issues will also be listed here. And they can comment on my issue. So they would comment on my issue here. If they had a different idea for brainstorming, they'd start a new issue. They'd put their idea in with the label brainstorming. So we're going to get a list of brainstorming ideas, and under each brainstorming idea, people can comment whether they like it, don't like it, want to change it slightly. So I'm going to pause now, and we'll come back later and see if any of my teammates have contributed any brainstorming ideas. I'm back a day later and logged on to GitHub, and let me go to the WeWalk repository to see if my teammates have any more brainstorming ideas. Looking up here, I see under the Issues tab that there are now 3 issues posted. And I actually knew this because I have GitHub set up to notify me in my email when there's an issue posted onto one of my repositories. So I actually saw the issues in my email. But the issues here in the GitHub repository are a nice list, a history of the discussion. So if I click on the issues, so here is the original issue I put up under the brainstorming topic. My idea was pet morphing, and we can see that there are 2 comments here. So if I click under the 2 comments, we can see that one of my teammates says, this sounds fun, but there are free products, PetSwitch and MorphMan, that do this, so we probably can't charge for it. So he's making a point that maybe this isn't the right way for our company to go. And actually my other teammate says, I agree with, and puts his, Ben's GitHub username with the @. So there's a little discussion on my brainstorming idea. But if we go back then to our main Issues tab, we can see here that there are other ones. Product idea, live walk tracking. So another one of my teammates put together this idea, and again used the brainstorming label. And there are no comments on this yesterday. And then finally, here we have pet grooming as yet another option. So as the options come up in brainstorming, we're going to have different ideas that the team can consider for their overall product. And we'll talk in other videos and in lessons about how you can use the brainstorming ideas to actually come up with the product idea. So this video has shown how to use GitHub Issues as a way to communicate. You can communicate by posting to this board here where everyone can see it and there's a good history of the communication. You can also have it set up so that when things are posted here it goes to your email. So it's almost like email, but it's here focused right on GitHub, right with the code base, and right with the project plan that the team is using to develop software. So we're going to encourage students and people watching this video that if you're working on a software project, do your communication that is in regard to this software project here in GitHub Issues.